design. So that is the part which takes care of the speediness at the transistor level. We were looking at the architectural level. And then we said, okay, architecture, we looked for various implementations like RCA, carry skip, carry select, conditional sum, and then a mixture of these two together, or many of these together. And then we said, come to CLA. CLA is a modified CLA, and then a variant of modified CLA is a parallel prefix adder. And then from parallel prefix, we said, okay, I want a further enhancement in speed. So we said, let me change my basic algorithm. So instead of working in a binary, we moved on to redundant binary adder. So we started designing a redundant binary adder where we changed the digit set from 0, 1 to -1, 0, 1. And then we saw that it gives you a benefit if you can have more number of zeros in your recoded versions. Okay, so that you can have less number of additions, because a 0 means no addition at all. The digit is getting passed on as it is. So you can choose a digit set now when you move on to redundancy. And the best digit set we have chosen, we have seen that it can be any number. Nobody says you can't choose. But the best digit set is a -1, 0, and a 1. And then we said, okay, based on that, you can have multiple number of bits, multiple number of numbers, binary numbers can be added together, maybe 10 numbers, maybe 30 numbers. You can add it, you can make a carry save tree, and they can be added in minimum number of steps without carry propagation. And then when we moved on to multiplication, we saw that whatever we have discussed in addition, that can be utilized beautifully, intelligently. Because again, in a multiplication, there is a partial product additions. So apart from the normal multiplication algorithm, because PP rows, they have to be aligned, either they have to be right shifted or they have to be left shifted, depending on whether you are multiplying for LSB side or you are multiplying for the MSB side. And then accordingly, you have a right shift algorithm, we have a left shift algorithm, where two PP rows, they get added, get accumulated, and then the third PP row gets added to the accumulator result, and then the fourth gets added after proper alignment. And then we said, okay, if you do not want a right shift or a left shift algorithm which takes place in a serial manner, so where you have a latency involved, you can have more or less a kind of a parallel implementation where we have array multipliers. You can have a parallel additions. So where we can use of we can make an array of full adders and then put them in a proper aligned way to get a parallel addition coming all the way. So you can have an array multipliers. Array multipliers can be aligned in a carry propagate way, or they can be aligned in a carry stored way. Both ways it can be aligned. So either you can have a serial kind of a addition taking place in multiplication where latency is involved, or you can have a parallel addition taking place where you have to create an array of full adders. Array of full adders. Here you can use both your techniques, carry propagate way, or it can be carry stored way. So then we say, okay, we are still not happy with our multiplier results. We still want it very, very fast. And then we said, okay, what are the techniques by which multiplication can be added further, speed up? Then we said it is all nothing but addition of PP rows, which is taking a lot most time. So why not reduce the PP rows? The number of partial product rows you reduce. So what can you do to reduce? There are two ways. One is your multiplier should have less number of ones or more number of zeros. So Booth proposed a technique here. He said you reconvert, you recode your multiplier. So if you have a string of 1, 1, which is 3, rather you represent it as 1, 0, 0, minus 1. So when you have 1, 0, 0, it is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. So when you have a number as only 1, 0, 0, minus 1. So earlier you were having 3 ones, now you have only 1 and minus 1. So less number of ones would be there. But remember, The moment you are changing from 1 0 to 1 0 minus 1, now redundancy is there. So there are 3 bits. Earlier 2 bits would have sufficed. Now you have to represent these 3 combinations as every bit has to be implemented by using 2 bits. Remember, now think of implementation. Think of implementation. Now 2 digits will represent minus 1. Okay? 2 digits will represent 1. 2 digits will represent 0. So there would be a hardware penalty over there. Because earlier there were only 2 bits, 0 and 1. Now there is a 3 bits, 1, 0 and minus 1. So there is a hardware penalty involved, but at the cost of hardware, we will have a faster addition of PP rows. Because we can code our PP rows or multiplier in such a way that we end up with having a less number of ones. Less number of ones. Okay? So as a result, my PP rows will reduce. Because my PP rows will reduce, I will have a faster addition. As a result, I will have a faster multiplication. Output will come. Then somebody said, okay, both recoding is one way where you recode your multiplier. Now you can apply this technique to both right shift algorithm or array multiplier, or it can be a left shift algorithm. You can apply. The technique remains the same. Only thing is that you are playing with the numbers. You are playing with the digit set. Otherwise, implementation, you can bring that playing with the numbers to the any kind of implementation. I can do it. Okay. So then, apart from the recoding, then somebody said that why should I go for recoding, or even if I go for recoding, as I said, recoding does not 100% ensure that in 100% trials you will have a less number of ones. That does not guarantee, because in some cases you may end up with having a more number of ones after recoding. So on an average 60 to 70% times you will be having a benefit. 30% times you may be having a problem may come up because your recoded version will have a more number of ones. So on an average I will get a benefit. But it does not guarantee that for every recoding you will have a benefit. So somebody also thought in another way, that another way to reduce the PP rows is to go for higher number of radix. Multiply with higher radix combinations. So currently we are working with single bit binary. At a time 1 bit multiplies. Now we start multiplying with 2 bits together. So 2 bits will multiply the multiplicand and generate 1 PP row. So that is radix 4. I have a combination of 2 bits together. I multiply and generate 1 PP row. Otherwise I would have generated, had I worked in radix 2, I would have generated 2 PP rows. Okay. So what we say is that we increase the radix, that will automatically reduces my PP rows. So here we will see the implementations. Yes. So this is my radix 2 multiplication. Can you see? Here as if you are multiplying with a multiplier of weight 2 to the power 0, multiplier bit, or 2 to the power 1, or 2 to the power 2 or 3. It's a radix 2 multiplication, and a 4-bit multiplier yields 4 PP rows. 4 PP rows. In the next case, what I do to reduce my number of PP rows, I get a radix 4 multiplication. Radix 4. What is radix 4? Now, I take a combination of 2 bits together, and then I multiply my multiplicand by these 2 bits once, immediately, so that I generate only one PP row. Then I combine these two together and I generate another PP row. Okay, so this gives me only 2 PP rows, 2 partial product rows, only 2 PP rows. So naturally less number of PP rows, faster is the addition. So now you can apply all the three things together, you can recode your multiplier. You can have a radix 4 multiplication. Okay, and then you can use any one of the technique, array or right shift or left shift. You can apply all the things together.
The final adder that we are going to do, suppose I'm doing a radix 4 multiplication, so I'm reducing the number of PP. The final adder could be radix 2 also.
Final adder, ultimately you would be bringing everything in terms of binary. Radix 4 brought in terms of binary. Okay, ultimately in your implementation you would be working only with zeros and ones. Okay, in your implementation you are all either your mouse is on or off. There is nothing else. So naturally when you are adding, you would be implementing as a full adder only. Full adder can be an RCA way or it can be implemented using a carry save way. Okay, so think of an implementation which is implemented through MOS only. MOS can be only 2 states. You do not have a 3 states. You are not working in a ternary. Though you can design for ternary, but then for ternary you need to design, have a third voltage level. Otherwise only 2 voltage level, high or low. In the case of ternary logic, you need a third voltage level. MOS automatically gives you 2 voltage levels, on or off, 0 or 5 volts. It is so easy, but for a ternary you need to generate an intermediate voltage level also. So you have to think of ways of generating 3 levels. Okay, so when I am going for radix 4, that doesn't mean that my implementation will differ. Implementation will still be in a binary. That's what I am saying. -1, there is nothing called -1. -1 is implemented as a combination of 0 and 1. You have to think only in that term. Thinking is, this is what you are doing at the algorithmic level. There human brain is involved. It can think anything, it can imagine anything, but computer cannot think. Computer has to work only in zeros and ones. Okay, so this is radix 4 multiplication, where I would reduce my PP rows by taking 2 bits together and then multiplying. So when I am taking a 2 bits together, that is I and I plus 1th, and then I am multiplying, suppose my multiplicand is A, I am multiplying it by A. And this is in the form of format of a binary. It is a base 2. But 2 bits to be taken together. Now look here very carefully. A 0, 1, 2 bits together can have 4 possible combinations. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. So if I use my radix 2, base 2, 0, 0 means 0, 0, 1 is 1, 1, 0 is 2 and 1, 1 is 3. So if it is multiplying an A, I can generate either a 0A or it will be 1A or it can be 2A or it can be 3A. So my PP rows will be one of these 4. My PP rows will be one of these 4. So 0A means all zeros. I need not add. 1A means nothing. Whatever the multiplicand, simply bring it and add. You are not doing anything to your multiplicand. Multiplicand is simply replicating itself. Okay, and then 2A means shifted by, left shift by 1 bit and simply add. You are not doing anything else, only one shifting operation is required. Okay, but for 3A, that is a little bit more tedious. How to generate a 3A? So out of the 4 combinations, 3 can be easily derived. Okay, but 3A will be difficult to derive because 3A will require a 2A plus A. So you have to get a 2A, you have to get an A and then add and then add. So one way I can do is that I can pre-compute my 3A, store it somewhere, and then whenever it comes, you just use it. Recall the memory and then bring it and then add. But then it has to be generated. It has to be generated. So I need 4, I need 3. So when you have 3, 4, combination of 2, that means 4 multiple, that means radix 4. That means as if you are having a 4 digits, 0A, 2A or 0, 1, 2, 3. Earlier you are multiplying only with 0 and 1. Now you are multiplying with either 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. So radix 4. Digit set is from 0 to 3. Digit set is from 0 to 3. So radix 4. It is a radix 4 multiplication. Okay. But remember here that generating a 3a will be difficult. It takes time to generate a 3a. It requires generation of a or simple a, generation of 2a means a shifting operation, and then addition, further addition, yielding a 3a. We always try to avoid multiple operations, because whenever there is a multiple operation means there is a problem, means a time consumption, and we want to make it fast. So why should I have a 3a? So it is a problem for me. So can I remove 3a? Can I totally remove my 3a? You will say, what's the matter? You need to compute 3a only once and then replicate. I agree. I agree. But will it not be better if I don't have a 3a at all? I agree. Okay. But then it will be much better if I don't have to go for a 3. Every time I have to recall my memory, get the 3a, and then put it at the, and then add to my PP row accumulator. So it will be better if there is no 3a at all. Then it's only multiplicand or a shifted multiplicand. That's all. Multiplicand or a shift multiplicand. So what can we do to? So we should not go for extra addition or extra work that is required. So what can be done? So this is what one example that I have to show you. So how can you work in a radix 4 multiplication? Remember this algorithm? What is this algorithm? Right shift. It is a right shift algorithm. I think everybody knows that. And here we are not working with 1 bit. Rather, we are working with 2 bits together. Okay. So we are either having an A, because 1 0 is 2a, so I will have a shifted. I only need to align it. That's all. You are not doing anything to your multiplicand. It's only getting shifted. That's all. And then there already you have computed a 3a, which is stored somewhere, and you would be recalling it back. You would be recalling it back. So 1 0 is a 2 and 1 1 is 3. So first you multiply with 2. So 2 means you have to get the multiplicand and shift it. Shift towards the left and then add it to your PP accumulator. And then the next step is the 3a. So 3a we have already computed somewhere. So that we will recall. So it's the addition of a 3. So 0 1 0 0 1 0, which is over here. It's a 3a. And then you get your final answer. Okay. Normal way, as I said, you can use the technique in any of the 3 multiplication processes like array or right shift or left shift. You can use it. Now, as I said, I want to remove so this may be the implementation of this 3a. This example that we have just, implementation will be simply, you need a mux which can choose either from 0 or a or 2a or 3a. And then you have a multiplier, okay, which will be shifting. And then you will be getting the bits. You will be getting the bits xi and xi plus 1. Accordingly, you are choosing it from here. This will go to an addition unit, PP unit. And from here, you will get a multiplier, depending on the multiplier combination, control lines, which will be selecting one of these 4. And then it would be added. Just one adder, 1 mux, 4 is to 1 mux. And 1 storage register here. And 4 storage register for 0a, 2a and 3a, and 1 storage register for multiplier. And then 1 storage register for PP row. That would be a wider storage register. That PP row, anywhere, final PP row accumulator you can see. Okay. So this would be your implementation. Can you see how simple is your design? But then you can add only 1 PP row at a time. So there's a latency involved. So this is not array where you can have a parallel addition. Okay. So now we will move on to the modified radix 4. Modified radix 4. I say I want to remove my 3a, so I am changing my digit set. Instead of choosing it from 0, 1, 2, 3, change it to, now it is I am going to the, rather redundancies I am going to brought in. Not only changing the digit set, I am also changing the redundancy. I am also bringing in the redundancy. So my digit set now changes to -2, -1, 0, 1 and 2. 5 digits. Radix 4, you require only 4 digits. But now my digit set has 5 digits, so it is a redundant digit set. It is a redundant digit set, but radix 4. It is radix 4. So we have, it's a quaternary, redundant quaternary addition. A kind of, okay. So I am now going to convert a 0, 1, 2, 3 to -2, -1, 0, 1. Now you will say, why? Why you have chosen this set? Can you give me an answer? Why I have chosen this digit set? -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. I could have chosen anything else.
This will justify shift operation.
Very good. I have purposely chosen this because even -2 means it's only shifting. 2 means only shifting. -1 means it's only the multiplicand. That is you are bringing in. 1 is also means a multiplicand. 0 means 0. Nowhere you are having an extra addition coming up as you require in a 3A. That is why we have chosen the digit set from -2 to 2, and redundancy will help you in what way? Redundancy will help you in what way? It will help you in recoding. Remember? In choosing the implementation. What to choose so that you can easily reduce the number of addition steps when you convert and bring them to binary. Ultimately, your result should be in binary. So I can now get my binary answer within few number of addition steps. Remember which addition steps? In a stored carry format. You need to go on converting from one digit set to another, and that requires a number of addition steps. So redundant binary or redundancy helps you in reducing those number of addition steps. Why? Because I can choose the implementation. -2 is there, I can choose 2, so that -2 and 2 gives you a 0. -1 is there, you can choose a 1. So this helps you in reducing the number of addition steps when you are going through the conversion process. Ultimately, I have to bring my result into binary. I have to bring my result into binary. So let us see here. So this is my digit set -2, -1, 0, 1 and 2. And now I have this number. Suppose this is my binary. I have to now bring it to this digit set. If I do in binary, make the calculations, it comes out to be 105. Okay. So I have to convert it into this digit set, but result should also still be in 105. Decimal. It should be the same representation. So now I have conversion from 0, 1, 2, 3 to -2, -1, 0, 1 and 2. How do you convert? So earlier you were having a representation for 0 as 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Now I will take 3 bits because the redundancy is there. So 0 is represented as 0, 0, 0. Now for 1, you can have multiple representations. 1 can be that's a radix 4. It can be 4 minus 3. So if you can have a 0, 1, 1 bar or 1 minus, is it 1? Check it out. 0, 1 and 1 minus. Is it 1? Take radix 4. Similarly, 0, 0, 1. 4 to the power 0. Your weight is now 4 to the power 0. Okay? And 1 minus 1 minus 1. Is it again 1? Please check it out. Do the calculations. Weight is 4 to the power 0, 4 to the power 1. No? Is it not?
Ma'am, here you will take the weight as 2 only.
Why?
2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1. But
okay, we are representing by 3 bits, 3 binary bits. Okay, it's not one binary bit. You are representing 1 bit by 3 bits. Because of that. Okay, okay. Yes, you are correct. Because 0 is represented as 3 zeros. Okay. Otherwise, I would have taken 0's position as 4 to the power 0 for a single bit representation. Okay, this is correct. I think Goa students also understand that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So binary only. So 0, 1, 1 minus 0, 0, 1 and 1, 1 minus 1. They all represent 1. Weight is 2 in a radix, in a binary weight 2. Okay. 2 is represented as 0, 1, 0 or 1 minus 1 and 0. And 3 is represented as 0, 1, 1 and 1, 0, 1 minus. Okay. So now I convert. Suppose my number is 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. You have to bring it, you have to recode it now. You have to bring it in that because all your multiplication will be by using digit set plus 2, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1 and 2. So you have to recode your multiplier. You have to recode your multiplier. So now, otherwise, how do I represent 0, 1? Because 2 bits taken together. 2 bits taken together. 0, 1 is 1. 1, 0 is 2. 1, 0 is 2. And 0, 1 is 1. So when taken 2 bits together, this is equivalent to a number 1, 2, 2, 1. This is equivalent to a number 1, 2, 2, 1. Now you have to recode. Recode means bring it in this format. Bring it in this format. So when I bring it, 1 is written as now 0, 0, 1. So 0, 0, 1, 1, sum bit, position sum, and 0 is a carry over to the next. Stored carry to the next bit position. We all understand how do we make conversions? Now this 2 is written as 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2 means it is a minus 2 here and a carry over 4. It's a radix 4, carry over 1. When you move on to the next fourth position is 1. Everybody understands that. So similarly, 10 carry over means 1 to the next position. Okay. So it's a 4 minus 2 you are writing. So minus 2 is written here and a carry over to the next bit position. 4 to the power 1. That is a 1. Then similarly 2. Again 4 minus 2 you are writing. So minus 2 and a carry over to the next. It is 4 again a carry over to next bit 4 to the power 1. Now 1 is written as 0, 1. 0, 1. So 1 and a 0. So 2 minus 1 minus 2 and 1. Now you have brought it in this. Can you see? Your digit set is now 2 minus. Now you will say 1 and 0 is also in digit set 0 in this digit set. Why do we need to bring it in this form? Because 0, 1 is also part of this digit set. This is all 0, 1. So this is anyway in this digit set. Why do we need to bring it in this format? So that is, this will help you in, as I said, this will help you in addition. Because now you will be choosing a particular value. Now based on this rules and this, okay, you can make a table for yourself. You can make a table for yourself. Recoding table. How do you recode? How do you recode? How do you record? Now what I am going to do, I am going to take 2 bits together. Within these 2 bits, incidentally there is 1, 2 and 2, 1, but there could have been a 3. There could have been a 3, which is incidentally is not there in this example. But you could have got a 3 also, 1, 1 combination. And this 3 we want to avoid. This 3 we want to avoid. That is why we are recoding it and bringing it in the digit set. Minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1 and 2. Understood? You may say, why do we need to recode it? This is not creating a problem because it is either 1, 2, 2 or 1. It will not create a problem for me. Either it is a multiplicand or a shifted multiplicand. Yes, I agree. But you may not have this combination always. You can have a different example like this, where your combinations may have 3 coming in. 2 bits combination can have 3 coming in. Now this will create a problem. Whenever there is a 3 means an addition, extra addition. Okay, so you need to recode and then bring it into the required format, in the form of 1, 0, minus 1 or minus 2 or 2. You do not want any other bits. You do not want any other bits. We do not want 3. Okay, so these 2 examples, they show that now you can have a recoded multiplier bits either as 1 or 0 or minus 1, or they can be 2 or they can be minus 2, or they can be minus 2. And just as we did last time, that we will now have a table. We can create a table. Remember what we did in recoding? Because we want more number of zeros. I do not want minus 2 coming in every addition step during conversion, or 2 coming in, because the moment there is a 2, I have to go through one more conversion step, because ultimately my decisions must be in binary only, 0 and 1. So better it is to get a 0 initially. Try to get a 0 or 1 initially, as much as at as many bit position as possible. Okay, so just as we did last time, that now you can choose between these 3 numbers. You can choose between these 3 numbers. So either you choose 0, 1, 1 bar, or you choose 0, 0, 1, or you choose 1, 1 bar, 1 bar. You can have 3 possible ways. So depending on that, you make your decision. Whether you are getting a previous carry, 1 from previous, then this 1 bar will help you, or this 1 bar will help you, because that 1 bar and 1 will give you a 0. Now remember, you will be working at 2 positions together. You will be working at 2 positions together, because 2 bits you will be taking together while recoding. Okay, so now we get how do we recode.
We have representations for 0, 1, 2, and 3 for 3 bits. While recoding, are we utilizing that representation?
Yes, that's because of that only you are going to make this table. No? That you look at 2 digits together and 1 digit from the previous, or in an overlapping way. That's I think we did. If you recall, we went through this exercise. How do we recode? We move in an overlapping fashion. This is radix 2, where you recode by taking 2 bits together. Okay, so you look from previously what is coming, and then decide for the position sum for recoded bit for the ith position. Looking on ith, you decide for I plus 1th. Looking for I plus 1th, you decide for I plus 2nd. No, you remember that? Do you remember that? And we make this table, and the table is made. Which table? This table was made. This table was made. Similarly here, we will make a table for radix 4. We can make a table for radix 4. Now you will take 3 bits together in an overlapping fashion. 3 bits together in an overlapping fashion. So if your combination is 0, 0, and previously there is a 0, we recode. Now these 2 together should be recorded as 1 bit 0. You are combining 2 bits as a single bit. 2 bits as a single bit. Okay. If your combination is 0, 0, and previously you are getting a 1, and the previous bit is 1. Then that one can give you a carry. Or that one can give you a -1. So choose. So 0, 0, 1 is recoded as 1. Similarly, for 0, 1 combination, you can have either 0 or 1. So recode 0, 1 as, can you see? 2 bits converted into 1 bit. So if you are 8-bit multiplier, it will be reduced to only 4-bit multiplier. It will be reduced to only 4-bit multiplier. So 4 PP rows only. But in PP row generation, I will be taking care of 0A, 2A, 1A and 3A, all 3A combinations. I will be taking care of all 4 combinations. Otherwise, I would have taken care of only 2 combinations, 0A and 0 or 1. So either it's a 0A or 1A. But here I would taking care of 4 combinations. Though my multiplier is recorded for 2 into 1. Okay. So now we have, there you have 4 combinations, here you have 8 combinations. So you are taking care of which combinations? For 0, 1, 1, 2, -2, -1, 1, -1 and 0. Digit set is from changed to 0 to -2 to 2. Digit set is changed from -2 to 2. And what does it implement now? What does it imply? It's a 0, do nothing, because your multiplier is multiplied by 0. Multiplicand is multiplied by 0. Only zeros to be added, or you do nothing. It's like a no operation. Because the 0 addition will not yield anything. Why to go through addition step? Then +1. Simply add your multiplicand. +1, again simply add a multiplicand. -2, what does it mean by -2? Shift and complement. Minus, it's a negative number. Shift and take 2's complement. So wherever is a multiplier, you have to take, shift it and then take the 2's complement. No. -2 is takes 2, first takes 2's complement and then shift. Take 2's complement because you have to get its negative number. Negative number and then multiply it by 2. So then you shift. 2 means simply shift. -1 is simply invert the number. Take 2's complement. So now in terms of computer, I have generated a few instructions. I understand the whole process in my mind. Computer does not understand. Computer follows the instructions. Computer only follows the instruction. So I have created my understanding in the form of an instruction table, which my computer will understand. That okay, now there is a mux. Mux will look at the combination and then it will produce a PP row automatically. Either it will be 0A, if your multiplicand is A, 0A, +1A, +2A, -2A, -1A, like it will select. Say how many combinations you have? 5. 5:1 mux you will be required. Because you will be selecting out of 5 combinations. Okay, and then you can implement. Once the table is ready, it's very easy. You can simply implement. That's all. Implementation can be right shift or left shift, or you can make an array multiplier. Okay, so it is very easy now to think in terms of algorithmic level as well as architectural level together. So now nobody says only think in terms of architecture. No, rather at a higher level of abstraction, algorithmic and architectural modifications, they go side by side. They go side by side. And you have to understand it as a human person or as a human, but then you have to implement it for a machine. You have to implement it for a machine. Machine has no intelligence. That is what we understand. So we have to give it in terms of instructions. And instructions, they have to be finally in the form of its implementable chart, which has to finally give you an answer in binary. This is all what is thought by a human but performed by a machine. So working only at the transistor level is not the solution for optimizing or speeding up any arithmetic function or arithmetic operation. You have to think in terms of higher level of abstractions also, which include your algorithm as well as the architectural level. Okay, so aim of this course was to introduce you a kind of a digital system in terms of a system design, which is not only confined to transistor level design. Transistor level design, now we all know. Now my aim is to bring it to you a level higher, where you start thinking in terms of system. The system may go awry, system may not function. What may be the problem? And if you want to improve the efficiency, what can be done at the system level, and then go further up at the architecture and algorithmic level. So ultimately everything, when you go for a machine implementation, everything moves on to mathematics domain. Everything moves on to mathematics domain, where you find solutions, you find algorithms, and then you bring them into an implementable format. So machine is mostly, you will see, maths is very important. Computer arithmetic is mostly dominated by mathematical functions or mathematical concepts. That is why we say the strong maths background is necessary for a computer science engineer. So a very strong mathematics foundation leads you to a higher understanding or a better understanding of the concepts, the formulas, the algorithms, which can be made implementable and bring onto the machine level. Okay, clear? So this is what is the base. Now based on this very simple. You need to only now think in terms of subtractor. You can have a divider. Divider is nothing but a subtraction, continuous subtraction. Multiplication is a continuous addition. Subtractor is a modified addition taken in 2's complement format. It's a modified addition. So again an adder will come into picture. Or it can be a comparator. Or it can be a trigonometric function calculation, which is usually in the form of a series. All trigonometric functions can be implemented or can be calculated through a series calculation. Okay, so arithmetic functions, which are basically multiplication and addition, they are actually the base of any arithmetic operation, which are repeatedly coming. So if you make them fast, that impact gives you a cumulative impact when you go for any other arithmetic operation. Okay, so I will not go any further. I think I have given you sufficient exposure to a kind of engineering or the attitude that you should have while designing a VLSI system or a subsystem. You should not think only at the transistor level. You have to move up and then think in terms of a whole system or a subsystem design. Okay, so I think more or less I will see if what else is left. We'll have 1 or 2 more lectures, but more or less my course is nearly finished. Okay, so we'll have our presentations, and then if time is left, I will take further few more lectures on maybe going further in this topic or taking up some other new topic. Okay.
Now we should refer to the book Computer and Mathematics
By Parhami, Behrouz Parhami. It's a very good book which first makes you understand the mathematical concept, redundant binary arithmetic, and then bring it in an implementable format for a machine to do it. It's a very good book. Okay. Okay. Everybody has that book? You have Goa students? Do you
Yes,
have that
ma'am.
book?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
fine.